Different path. Post from the 31st of May, 2018. Another 3 hills completed on the Ribena Tour: Grit Fell, Brownlee Hill and Wardstone. The walk was 10 miles, and I only met one person on my way around, a lady jogging with her dog. I stopped to have a chat with Meg, the sheepdog, and the lady asked where I was going, and she said I was keen. I explained that I was trying to get my fitness back after my battle with anxiety. Turns out she is a part-time farmer and also a cognitive behavioural therapist at Lancaster and Morecambe hospitals. It was really nice to spend 5 minutes in the middle of nowhere talking about my counselling, my progress, and receiving her affirmation for the steps I'd taken. A real boost and a very spooky encounter. This time last year, I had just completed my 6th, 7th and 8th peak over 450 metres, and the idea of completing 45 peaks to celebrate the 45th anniversary of my heart operation was starting to take shape. I decided to keep the challenge quiet until I was sure that I could succeed. I now see that period as a time of gaining a foothold and establishing a bridgehead in preparation for the war that I was going to have to fight against my anxiety, that had terrorized my mind and body for so long. Gradually, as I ascended the remaining 37 peaks, I won many battles, retaking ground previously lost to my enemy, rebuilding confidence damaged by previous attacks, and eventually regaining control of my mind, body, and life. Shortly after completing my challenge, I excitedly looked forward to climbing more hills, trying to reach greater heights, and conquering more Wainwrights. Due to a variety of reasons, 7 months on, and apart from 2 peaks reached in March, I haven't really progressed past the goal reached last October. For a few months, the lack of progress has been a source of frustration as I've searched for the next sign of progress and the need for a new goal. Then, last week, a Facebook post by Dr. Gabor Mate reminded me of a podcast I'd heard earlier in the year, and his book that I'd started to read called When the Body Says No, The Cost of Hidden Stress. I then found a vast array of videos from Dr. Mate on YouTube and selected one at random. Dr. Mate is a very well-renowned physician who, unlike many other physicians, has irrefutable proof that mental and physical health are inextricably linked. He believes that childhood trauma, suppressed poorly managed anger and emotions, chronic long-term stress and poor self-care lead to a suppressed immune system and chronic illnesses such as cancer, multiple sclerosis, Crohn's disease, and heart disease, etc. In the video, he reviews several obituaries of people who were diagnosed with terminal illnesses, people who, even when they were receiving chemotherapy, refused to slow down, kept pushing themselves to the limit, never stopped putting others first, and didn't seek psychological assistance. He also refers to another patient, an executive at Microsoft, who after being diagnosed with cancer was given 1 year to live. She resigned from her job, rested while she received treatment, reconnected with her authentic self, became spiritually aware of psychological challenges, and, recently, celebrated 10 years since her diagnosis. It was then that I realized that I'd inadvertently chosen a different path, that I had no need to keep pushing myself and putting myself in danger. Now that the war had been won, I could lay down my arms and start to win over hearts and minds, improve my knowledge of mindfulness, and look to increase the awareness in society of the damage that mental illness can initiate. I'd recognized that my anxiety had also taken a different approach, relying on guerrilla tactics of random attacks to try and re-establish itself. But as Dr. Mate ended his video with this sentence, the biggest stress of all is trying to be who you are not. The maintenance of health mainly depends on knowing who you are, getting in touch with your body, getting in touch with yourself, being mindful of all that, and honoring who you are. I realized that my next goal was to continue to find myself, to realize that I no longer had to fight, to recognize my authenticity, and continue to educate others.